Boiler tanks. Access. To access the boiler tank assembly, the engineer needs to remove the back panel. Take out the two back screws on the top panel with a Phillips screwdriver. The Talento has two boilers, one for coffee and the other for steam. The coffee boiler tank has a capacity of 2 litres. The steam tank has a capacity of 3 litres. Both tanks are in stainless steel and insulated, and each has a 2600 watt heating element. The tools required here are 10, 12, 17 and 37 mm wrenches, a Phillips screwdriver, pliers, clippers and clamps. Boiler tank and fuse components. The coffee boiler tank is comprised of a temperature probe, 16-bar expansion valve, hot water solenoid valve connection fitting, add water solenoid valve connection fitting, coffee solenoid valve connection fitting, safety thermostat, 98 degrees centigrade, CSA version for the North American market only. The steam boiler is comprised of safety thermostat, 150 degrees centigrade, CSA version for the North American market only, level probe, temperature probe, 6-bar expansion valve, steam solenoid valve connection fitting, cappuccino maker valve connection fitting. In the bottom part of the coffee boiler tank is a 2600 watt heating element. Fuse 167 degrees. Drain plug and water inlet connection. The steam boiler tank contains a 2600 watt heating element, fuse 184 degrees, drain plug and water inlet connection. To replace the fuse, it's necessary to switch off and unplug the Talento. Next, disconnect the fuse connections and slide out the fuse from the bottom. This operation takes place in the bottom part of the boiler tank. Draining the boiler. The boiler tank needs to be emptied in order to change the heating element or before removing the boiler assembly. To empty the coffee boiler tank, the engineer needs to open the drain plug with the machine switched off and once the boiler tanks are cool, using a 17 mm wrench. Insert a drain pipe and then open a fitting in the top part of the boiler to allow air to enter and therefore water to come out. Wait for the tank to empty completely and then tighten the fitting that was previously opened using a 12 mm wrench before closing the plug again. This procedure is the same for the steam boiler tank. Heating element. The boiler tank needs to be removed in order to replace the heating element. Once the boilers have been emptied, the engineer needs to unhook the Teflon pipe from the fittings to the steam solenoid, hot water solenoid, add water solenoid, and safety thermostat, CSA version only. Next, remove the clamp from the expansion valve and slide out the silicone pipe. The engineer will unhook the power cord for the two heating elements and the Teflon water inlet pipes in the bottom part of the boiler. Open the left side panel, loosening the two screws on the top panel with a Phillips screwdriver. Remove the coffee boiler tank temperature probes, yellow, and the steam tank temperature probe, red, and free the wires. Take off the clamps on the center bar of the bar panel and free the wires. Then, using a 10 mm wrench, take out the 4 screws securing the 2 boiler tank support bars to the frame. Securing the boiler in a vise and using a 37 mm wrench, it's possible to loosen and unscrew the heating element. During the refitting stages, make sure that the seal is completely inside the special seating. Tighten the screw with a 37mm wrench.